Right.
About the big picture, and if my colleagues are doing something that doesn't make sense, I don't give a damn.
So let me ask you this.
yeah.
Once the understanding of the composition of 3i Atlas, once that was out and people recognized that this is a very unusual object, have more people started to consider what you're saying privately? Has anybody publicly supported you?
So the young people, you have to understand the biggest damage of this harassment or scrutiny or ridicule or personal attacks, I don't care about it. You know, my skin is by now titanium. I don't really feel much. The issue is really that and that's the purpose of these attacks, is they want to discourage young people from deviating from the beaten path.
Right.
So they keep the herd in a tight configuration. And the risk from that is, you know, one suggestion that was very popular when I started astrophysics, you know, like half a century ago. By the way, I lived throughout half of modern physics, roughly. Half of modern physics. So half a century ago, it was thought that there is a symmetry of nature called supersymmetry, and that the dark matter is the lightest. Search for supersymmetry and didn't find it. Now, what is the lesson? Yes, it was a beautiful idea, and sometimes nature is not what we think it is, okay? So we should not ridicule ideas that are different than what the mainstream is doing, because the mainstream makes mistakes. This was, a lot of money and effort went to that. There are thousands of papers basing their analysis or mathematical constructions on supersymmetry.
And a lot of people are unwilling to abandon that as well, right?
Yeah, but the point is, if you allow people to follow not just the beaten path, but other paths, you have a better chance of discovering something new.
Right.
Because we cannot, Einstein made, 3 mistakes between 1935 and 1940. And all 3 received Nobel Prizes for the teams that proved him wrong. Did Einstein was wrong to assume, to make assumptions or claims that turned out to be wrong? No, because that's the nature of working at the frontier. You make mistakes. Every now and then, you might be right, and that will be a breakthrough. But you cannot have breakthroughs without taking risks. And it's really, the whole idea of tenure in academia was based on the proposition that you want people to take risks so that they don't have job insecurity. They don't worry about their... So what these zealots, I call them, say is, we don't want people to deviate from the beaten path because we base our stature, we base our honors, awards, and so forth on past knowledge. We don't want new knowledge.